I can't talk about all these guys that I've worked with because it's unfair to. There's loads of them. But I have met Paddy Hopkirk. I've met him. I met him at Silverstone with Stuart Turner. I used to have 2 books, and it's the only book that I know of in existence that both of them signed signature for. And when I went to Ukraine and I lost my house whilst I was abroad, all of my house contents and my Renault car are all missing, including all my tools, my music, my keyboard, everything. My Korg Triton 61, that's all gone. But it's a special one. The carriage is being repaired. It's got loads of cotton and araldite winding on the mount in the system inside. If you pull it apart, you'll see that it's been repaired, and I repaired that by hand with modelling aircraft technology. Araldite and cotton thread with wood spacing. So that's my keyboard, by the way. That's my one. Oh yeah, what I want to talk about this world mass of foreign cars in the United Kingdom and the demise of our brands. Since the 9/11 bombings, they've all been under attack, and there's been survival packages put out. Now, we were stabbed in the back really by people attacking Germany, but they're still here. BMW is still here, they're in the Mini factory, and Rolls-Royce and Bentley are being managed by Volkswagen and BMW, I believe. So the story about Ferry Porsche, the son of, is it Ferdinand Porsche, the slave to the Nazi party from Hungary. I didn't know he was from Hungary, to be honest, but there we go. There's a company in California that took hold of, there's lots and lots of things around the Phoenix 4 venture of restarting the car industry in Birmingham, and the Oxford factory was also involved. But going back to California, the MGB was the first monocoque chassis, and a guy called Don Hayter invented that, and one of my old bosses knew him, and he knows his son, still knows him. I have to say, looking at the new MG that has been planted out there, Cyberster, it's a bit of an ill attempt to outdo a lot of people that were lined up for the jobs. We've been demised. We were in the motor trade. We were in the motor industry. I'm an engine designer. I'm qualified. City and Guilds, the real qualification, not a degree qualification. That is just something that qualifications are based upon, and my teaching was City and Guilds, MV3, engine design credits. I was just a couple of points away from distinction. So ever since I was 16, I had all the correct information for making high performance engines, and I've been used grassroots by a lot of people. So I've got to say this new attempt from, I don't think it's China, is it? It's something UK it's called. That is definitely an Audi and a Porsche door shut. Now, in 1950 something odd, the MGA did Le Mans. The TED and the TF used to be used by film stars in America. That's the old sort of like noddy looking car, you know. The body was made by Tickford and the chassis was made by MG in Abingdon. Tickford is out sort of the other side of Milton Keynes way. They were coach builders, Tickford. I have to say that this guy in California used to be where the MGA racing team used to go and send all their BMC race team equipment. So anyway, he was the guy, but he was also the guy that brought in Porsche. So Porsche, as well as MG, were his two brands in California. Now I think also that Ferrari sent him some body shells because Ferrari was going bust and they couldn't get into motorsports in America. And he might well have done some radiator post thermocycline pressurized cooling system tests is what I suspect he did. So this guy was used, and again in the 90s he had a car that he was making with an SRL company in Italy, Modena. Now Modena is the home for Ferrari. It was anyway the last time I looked. And the body shell was bought out by the Phoenix 4 for a X90 prototype, and it went into production as the SV. So anyway, I got my eyes on all that. I'm going to get it all going with my Austin MG Sport brand, and I want to buy the old Mini. Is it the 56 model? I want to buy the chassis tub. If I don't get the go ahead, I'll just buy the pressings and make them from that one as well, because I've got to tell you, a lot of my friends were on the design teams of those Minis before BMW even came in to take over and disband the whole lot. Unfortunate that somebody, terrorist in the world, did a 9/11 strike. And I'm telling you, the same people that were in World War II on both sides of the factions of fascists and anti-fascism are still descendants today, and they're in crime. So that MG, it looks like an Audi and Porsche door shut to me. I used to be a VAG mechanic years ago, Volkswagen Audi Group. I used to make fast cars as a hobby, because the motor industry has always been stolen by people with dreams about being engineers. They just never ever wanted to do the very difficult education. I mean, it's really difficult science to become a motor engineer. Very difficult. So a load of half-wits come in and buy a brand and slap everybody else's ideas into them. Hi.